Hello my beautiful jewels and gems. I'm so excited for today's video. I'm going to be telling you all my pregnancy story. There was so much excitement last week. Thank you so much for all the love. I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm still kind of in shock about it. I don't think it's really sunk in yet. I'm gonna give you guys a side shot and a front shot today. I finally made my doctor's appointment, so it's about 2 weeks out, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm still not exactly sure how far along I am, but I believe I'm about 5 weeks in at this point. So we're really excited, can't even tell you. I'm gonna start off today's video with giving you some of the symptoms that I've been having, and then towards the end of the video I'm going to tell you guys the first part of my pregnancy story where I told my husband that I was pregnant. So one of the main symptoms that I'm experiencing is that I am still very thirsty. I drink about 3 quarts of 32 ounces of water a day, so that's pretty awesome. I'm trying to keep it at 3. Last week I was drinking like 4, but I really am trying to keep it at 3. I've also noticed that I've been a lot hungrier, a lot faster. I told my husband I could tell the difference between me being hungry and the baby being hungry, because when the baby gets hungry it's like immediate and I have to eat right then and there. So it's pretty crazy when you get really hungry really fast. So I would recommend, if you're pregnant, to definitely have lots of snacks around you, because you don't want to get to the point where you're hungry, because it starts to like be so annoying. I've also noticed that my balance is a bit off. I was telling my husband that I felt like a Teletubby. Like, I haven't started the waddle. I hope I don't have the waddle, but my balance is definitely off. I'm not as sturdy as I would like to be. I've been taking a lot of naps. I'm not a nap person, but I've been taking a whole lot of naps lately, and I'm just going with it because I know that the baby is working to grow and I want to help as much as I can, and I don't want to overextend myself, especially in my first trimester. So I've been taking a lot of naps, and I've also noticed some cramping. It's been worse than it was before. There was one night there that I had to get my my heating pad because I was really, I could feel my uterus stretching, and that is not a good feeling. It mostly just feels like a menstrual cramp, but since I know what it is, like, I can feel it. I'm very I'm very sensational, so like I'm very ticklish. So anyway, I could really feel the cramping and the stretching happening, so that was pretty annoying. And since I can't drink tea, I mean, I guess you can drink some caffeine, but I'm really trying to stay away from it, at least during my first trimester. I have another option, and I'll share that with you guys later, that I use to kind of soothe my stomach during that time. And lastly, another symptom that I've been experiencing is my sense of smell is a lot stronger. So I noticed when I was working a couple of weeks ago, there was someone around me, I don't know who they were, but they were so smelly. It was really like driving me up a wall. We were getting ready to go into the store that was like a home store, and it had a very strong scent. I couldn't go inside. We were passing through Bath & Body Works, which I was able to go in there because the scents in there were, you know, good scents, but it just seems like everything is so much stronger. I feel like a superhero, you know, superpowers, because my sense of smell is so much stronger. So now I want to share with you some helpful items that I have received over the past week that you may also find helpful, or just if you're just interested in your following my journey, you might also be interested in knowing. My friend Chanel let me borrow this book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. I've heard a lot of really great things about this book, so I'm excited to read it and see, you know, if it's helpful to me. Also, I was hanging out with my friends over the weekend, and they were telling me about how they have stretch marks, and I had spoken to my mom about this a little bit, and so she was just like, well, just make sure that you have, you know, take some precautions in that area. So I went to the store with my husband, and we bought this cocoa butter formula. It says stretch marks, and there's little pregnant women on there. I wasn't really sure, you know, what to get, but I love cocoa butter. I've been using it since I was a little girl when I had my chicken pox and all that, so it's pretty awesome. It leaves a wonderful scent on your skin. It smells amazing. But there was a woman who told me that when you start to stretch, you will feel yourself itching. So I haven't had that. My stomach's about the same size. It's pretty much just how it is when I'm bloated. And like I said, I'll give you guys a shot of my tummy at the end of the video. But this one is what I've been using lately, and I really love the smell of this, so I don't have to worry about bad scents. And I love Palmer's. I mean, they're old school and they're good, so I'll let you know. I might try some other things. Another thing that I've been utilizing a lot is my crock pot, because I usually do cook throughout the week, but since I've been so tired and napping a lot, I've been using my crock pot to cook, and it's really been helpful to me. And I'm going to be sharing some recipes with you guys in the coming weeks that I've been using in the crock pot while I'm pregnant. I did some research on what are some good foods for me to eat during this time, so I would love to share that with you guys, and I will be doing that soon. So moving on to my pregnancy story, it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to tell the story. Thank you for tuning in this week. As promised, I told you that I would tell you this week, but these stories are so long, so that's why I'm doing a part 1 today, and I'm going to do a part 2 next week, and who knows how many parts there'll be to this, but today we're going to focus on how I told my husband that I was pregnant. So for about, a few weeks, I had noticed that my body was a little bit different. When I would eat, I would get full, and the full that I felt was a little different than it would normally feel. And I know that sounds like a little odd, but that's really how I was feeling. It kind of felt like a tightness in my stomach, and so that was a little weird for me. And I also had missed my period, and I don't know, like I just felt it in my spirit. There was one day that I was drinking coffee because I was making coffee before I went to work, and I was thinking to myself as I was sipping it, I really don't know if I should be drinking this right now. And then I forgot about it because it was like a thought that passed through my mind. And the next day I did the same thing, and I was drinking my coffee, and I was like, I don't know if I should be drinking this. And I was like, what is going on? Like, there's nothing wrong with me drinking coffee, but in the back of my mind I was feeling like I might be pregnant. So then the next day I drank tea because I was like, oh, tea's cool, whatever. And so I just had my green tea because I love green tea. Oh my goodness. But then as I was drinking my green tea, I was like, wait a minute, does this have caffeine in it? Am I able to drink this? And so it was just kind of odd that I was having these feelings. So on Thursday night of that week, which would have been a week before my last video that I posted, my first pregnancy vlog, I thought I started my period because I had a little bit of, the blood or whatever, which I later found out was the implantation of the egg. So that was interesting. But I was kind of bummed, so I went to my husband and like, you know what, I'm not pregnant, so we both were kind of like a little bummed about it. Moved past it. The next day I was like, you know what, I'm not really convinced that I'm not pregnant, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a pregnancy test. So along with getting my pregnancy test, that was actually like second on the list. I went to the store and I was buying a bunch of foods that would be good for me with my low iron, because as you guys know, I'm anemic. So I was buying all kind of green leafy vegetables along with fruits and vegetables in the store. And then I left that store and went next door to Dollar Tree, and when I went to Dollar Tree, I bought some toiletries and things, and then I also bought a pregnancy test. I was very nonchalant about this because in my heart I already knew that I was pregnant. So anyways, I get home and I was trying to decide, should I tell him, or should I do this now so I can tell him when he gets home, or should I wait until he gets here? So about a month and a half before this particular day, I had taken a pregnancy test because I was really sick, and so I thought maybe I was pregnant. Wasn't pregnant, we were both bummed. So I was like, you know what, I don't want to put him through that emotional roller coaster again. So I'm just going to take this test, I'm going to see if I'm pregnant. If I am pregnant, then when he comes home I can tell him, and if I'm not pregnant, well, no skin off my back. I already told him that I wasn't pregnant last night, so it wouldn't be such a big deal. So he is at work, I'm here at the house, so I go ahead and I take the pregnancy test. So the pregnancy test is this one. This is the one that I took, and it has 2 small lines. If you're pregnant, they show up. However, at the beginning, I really didn't know how to read this thing. So I was so confused. And when I finally figured out that I was pregnant, I was in complete shock and dismay. And I just kind of sat there for a while. And I tried to, I was editing a video at the time, and I was watching a YouTube video, like my normal thing that I'm doing at home. And I couldn't even do that. I just had to sit there. I started to tear up. I was just in disbelief. I just kept saying over and over again, I'm pregnant. And he still wouldn't be home for another hour and a half. So I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself. So eventually I started doing things because I was like, I have to busy my mind. So when he finally gets home, I took all his stuff, set him down, and I'm like, so guess what, you know? And so he guesses everything, but, because he knew, I knew he knew, that I was pregnant. So I took his hands, I put them on my stomach, and he's like, oh, what, you're fat? And he has to know my husband, he's like such a jokester, so he was joking around, and I was like, no, and then he's like, you're pregnant, and I was like, I'm pregnant, and he just sat there, and he was like, how do you know, or how did it happen? And I was like, what? And so he's like, let me see the test. So we go into the bathroom, show him the test, and he didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to do, so I sat down because it was like overwhelming for me, it was like too much. And so then he comes up and he like hugs my stomach, and I'm like, okay, so I took the $1 test, but I need to take a real test. So he wants to call everybody like right then and there, and I was like, no, David, you cannot call everybody. We need to take like a real expensive test for me to like really be comfortable with this. So we leave, we go buy a test. It was the clear blue test, and as you can see, it definitely says pregnant. There was no questions about this one. I mean, it was as clear as day. And I would like to add that when I took both of these tests, they came up within about a minute and a half. They usually tell you to wait 3 minutes. I was like, I am overly pregnant. So that's my pregnancy story. I'll tell you guys all about how we told our mothers and our friends and family a little bit later on, but I just wanted to share with you the first part. Thank you so much for following my journey, and I will see you guys next Friday. Love you so much, and if you have any pregnancy tips for me, please let me know, because this is my first baby, so I'm so excited about it. Love you so much. Hugs and kisses. So I forgot to mention the cutest part of this story. After I told David that I was pregnant, when we were on our way out the door to our car to go buy the second pregnancy test, he literally started beatboxing and dancing to his beatbox. And you have to know he's a music producer and he makes beats. So this was really monumental. And in addition, every single person that he saw, he yelled out to them that I was pregnant, and it was the most adorable thing ever. So we're going to start off with a side belly shot, and then I'm going to show you the front belly shot. And if you can pay close attention to the bottom of my tummy, you can see it's growing. Although I don't know my exact due date, I'm about 5.5 weeks. So here is a 5-week baby. And if you're just finding out you're pregnant, congratulations. I will be back next Friday. Thank you guys so much for following my journey. Please comment below and let me know what you think of this and what other types of pregnancy vlogs you would like to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday. I find out, I'll let you know. But anyway, buy your water bottle. And buy your prenatal vitamins. I keep mine in a little container. I'll pop a little thing in so you guys can see them.